What's up, guys? It's Never Jinx, and yeah, we started playing 1999 mode. Yeah, I'm just gonna go in and edit these settings real quick and make sure everything's settled. Don't want to get into this and fuck up right away. So yeah, right off the back though, you can see we're playing in 1080i. And yeah, so we're gonna start up a new game. Oh no, gotta overwrite the old save, I guess. That's not good. I guess it is. It'll be alright. So, in this playthrough, I am going to attempt to never use the vending machines except for the tonics and the weapon upgrades. I wonder where that gust of wind came from.
Booker, are you afraid of God?
No.
Starting off the bat, we have this serious little intermission. The mind of the subject will desperately struggle to recreate memories where none exist. R. Ludus, 1889. Now we're off the coast of Maine. It's 1912, and we're on a boat.
Are you going to just
I'm on a boat.
There?
As compared to what?
I'm on a boat.
Not standing.
Yeah, my friend's playing games in the background. We're going to ignore him.
Land on it.
So you expect
He's not important to this situation.
No, but I do expect you to do all the rowing.
I'm not doing this commentary over.
Coming here was your
I
idea.
don't care how much you make me laugh.
My idea.
I've made it very clear that I don't believe in the
refuse.
exercise.
The rowing.
No.
Okay,
Imagine that's one
so we're rowing the boat.
exercise.
Can't see a thing.
The entire thought
There's a buoy.
experiment.
Excuse me.
It's raining.
Longer.
One goes into an experiment
Yeah.
knowing one could
We have a
fail.
box.
One does
We
not
have some
undertake
gear
an
in it.
experiment knowing one has
Picture of Elizabeth.
Can we get back to the rowing?
One of the keys.
We're never going to get there.
No, I mean I'd greatly appreciate it if you would assist.
Perhaps you should
So
ask
this is all
him.
basically a big
Imagine
setup.
he has a greater interest in getting there than I do.
This is one of their experiments to try to get
Point in asking.
Why not?
Booker to complete his mission of rescuing Elizabeth, rescuing his daughter, however you want to see it. Since they're really not the same person in the end, because that Elizabeth actually is erased and we're left with baby Elizabeth, who's actually Anna. So she's not even really Elizabeth. Yeah. Got some tackle on the walls. And there's the lighthouse, as previously seen in the first two Bioshock.
Hey! Is somebody meeting me here?
So yeah, I'm just going to sprint through most of this. I'm not going to take a lot of time to sightsee, as I'm sure many of you have played through this part many
Excuse me.
times.
It's Booker DeWitt. I guess you're expecting me?
So yeah, you know, a quick grab through of all the materials in here. Any spare coins, I'm sure we'll need them later in the game.
Is anyone here? Hello?
I always feel the need to pick up this telephone. You notice it looks like some plane of attack on the map up there. I don't know if I look at it, I might. Nope. So basically, I have this whole little lighthouse portal to the city in the sky dimension set up.
Shit.
They say, you know, this is your last chance, don't disappoint us. And I'm guessing, I would guess that means that they've run this test so many times, and this is apparently the one where they succeed. So I try to play a little song here for you guys. I'm not very good at playing music though, apparently. Oh yeah, I was bored. And then the lighthouse starts going crazy and begins opening up the portal to the sky. I'm not sure what all the red is. But if you look over in the distance, there seems to be a city. I'm guessing that's New York City over the horizon. I would assume this is the bay, and that is the city. I wouldn't know why else they would put a city over there. So now that the lighthouse is shut out, I'm gonna hop on in here and take a trip to the floating city.
All right. Looks like they expect me to sit in their fancy chair.
I'm gonna try to minimize the amount of commentary in this. I enjoy commentary, but I feel like sometimes it's better just to enjoy the game, because Bioshock is a very involved game. And if you're watching something like this, I'm sure you're just looking for the content, maybe the skill of the player, since this is 1999 mode. And I guess the success rate of the missions, maybe to get a few tips. So, I guess even it's not so important. I imagine if people are watching this, then they want to get tips at parts they're having problems with. So I imagine they'll just skip through most of this and get to the part where they need help. Oh, and we're here in the city of the sky, Elizabeth's Tower. Shut up, Shaq. And and yeah, so I got a bunch of blimps floating around. I think they tried to make this as epic as possible. And I assume that's because if you played the demo of this and you played the first 5 minutes, after seeing all this, you'd probably buy it. Don't know me. And now we're slowly lowering down into the church. And all these signs basically talking about how Comstock, or Booker, however you see it, took all these people up to the city in the sky and gave them a new chance, became their prophet, etc. And the prophet shall lead the people to the new Eden. Here, I'm gonna run around and pick up a few audio recordings through this playthrough because I seem to have missed like 20 of them on my first playthrough on hard mode. I'm not gonna really look at the the viewing machines because it's really too time consuming. I think I might click on one and then back out of it because I changed my mind. I don't think you guys really need to see all that. Yeah, just gathering up the stuff. And they're just preaching how the Lamb, Elizabeth, is their future because she will be the heir to Comstock's throne. Most people believe that Comstock is infertile due to the dimension experiments and that kind of thing. A good point to bring up is that maybe the reason why Elizabeth can exist, or at least open up rifts to other dimensions, is because her pinky got taken off when she was a baby and left in one dimension, and the other half of her, well, 99% of her, went into another dimension. So maybe since two pieces of her exist in two different dimensions, she's able to go into other dimensions.
Without the sinner, what need is there for a redeemer? Without sin.
Sorry, if I pause during the commentaries because I'm trying to take in what's going on through my gameplay, since I don't have the capability of recording myself while I play. I'm actually going to watch it all over again and try to discuss things that are happening. As you can see, the church followers are creeping up all strangely and meticulously. And multiple statues of the Lamb. And the only path into the city is to be baptized. And we have this crazy-ass priest who tries to drown us. There goes the biddies walking up.
I just need passage into the city.
And
brother, the only way to Columbia is through rebirth.
The crazy father, who appears to be almost blind. Maybe he is blind by the haze on his eyes. Would like to baptize me.
Hey. I baptize you in the name of our prophet, in the name of our founders, and the name of our Lord.
But this wasn't good enough, because we're still dirty.
I don't know, brothers and sisters, but this one doesn't look clean to me.
And now we get knocked unconscious. And we are now witnessing Booker in his apartment complex. Apparently he used to be a cop. You notice there's a badge on the table. Some gambling tickets.
I told you.
Looks like some army service medals if you look on the wall to the right. And this is actually the scene in New York City that we get to see near the end of the game when the city's being destroyed. And there's Elizabeth's tower up in the sky. And now we wake up and we are in the city. And they are pointing the three bell symbols at us. I'm not really sure why, but they are.
That idiot priest needs to learn the difference between baptizing a man and drowning one.
But these are actually the presidents of the United States holding these symbols. Besides Franklin. But everybody they see, that's important.
To Father Jefferson, a scroll.
Our prophet fills
Bunch
our
of crazy
lungs
people
with
talking.
so they may better love the air.
And that's pretty clever. What is Columbia but not an ark for another time?
By the sword.
Because Comstock actually knows what's going to happen because he's the one who does the rift traveling. Thus, he knows the future, and he knows Booker is coming. Well, he knows himself is coming to kill him. So basically this is just a place for those events to transpire. So I find it quite interesting that these floating buildings actually know when you're on them and move spontaneously to the next building that you need to go to. How convenient. Some snickering townsfolk.
Good to see you.
There's a lot of interesting dialogue within the townsfolk. If you just stop and listen, they'll interact with you, ask you questions. Booker may or may not respond, but nonetheless, something to do in your spare time. So like I said, I'm just going to grab a few things here. We're going to stock up on money. You know, the beginning of the game's a bit slow until you get to the fighting. And then we all know the difficulty escalates from there. The enemies starting off very easy at first, and then eventually becoming nearly impossible at the final battle with the airship.
I asked her, "Why do you show this to me, Archangel? I'm not a strong man. I'm not a righteous man. I am not a holy man." And she told me the most remarkable thing. "You're right, prophet. But if grace is within the grasp of one such as you, how can
kids playing in the
fire
hydrant water?" But a lot of these kids, if you find them in the alleys, are smoking and doing malicious things. Bad kids in Columbia. And here comes this parade, but I really didn't enjoy it last time because I don't know. Didn't really appeal to me. So I ran back over here to see if I forgot anything. Yep, and there's the electric powered horse. Well, I guess it's powered by shock jockey from that element inside the orb there. Perfect timing, and we're running across the now newly formed bridge. That sign was mentioning a raffle.
Huh. He's strong in the sword, but a bit weak.
See another barrel of provisions and some charity funds. We don't have time for charity. We need that money. We broke as hell. Yeah, I think this is the only machine I actually look into. The word of the prophet. There was one actually interesting one in Comstock's castle, and that actually had a hummingbird flying around for about 15 seconds. And if you look in the... right after we were baptized, there was one hummingbird flying over the water. I'm not sure if there are any more within the game, but that is the one that I remember when I played through. I'm not sure if it is significant towards anything, but nonetheless. And we have the choir boys.
Until he is revealed unto the eyes of man.
Also not much of interest to us. So 1080i actually looks pretty good. I have to admit, I rather like it.
That's where they said I'd find her.
So this is pretty cool.
Telegram, Mr. DeWitt.
Huh.
Telegram,
Mr. DeWitt. Telegram.
DeWitt, stop. Do not alert Comstock to your presence.
So Ludus,
stop. Whatever you do, do not pick number 7.
Actually sent him a telegram
Tess.
because he knows what's going to happen. And I guess in an attempt to change the course of actions Booker takes, he wanted to see if Booker would pick a different ball. But we all know he winds up picking number 77. And we're gonna power through these mini games.
I'll give it a shot.
And get these coins that are offered after you win. Because I imagine we will need as much money as we can get come later in the game. Since we can't buy ammo or health or salts, we're definitely going to need gun upgrades and improvements for our powers. I actually did all these in one try, which is a miracle by all means. Almost didn't get this one. I turned up my turn speed before I started, and yeah, wanted to give that a try. I also play on Verdit, which not many people know, so all my montages and all my videos for any game I've ever played, I play that up is down and down is up. Yeah, so I almost messed up there. I'm surprised I still got it. Not by much. So now we're gonna go play the shotgun game. I think right after I grab the salt container that's here. That's a handyman. If you notice, they show before and afters. And they have a picture of all the abilities in the game.
Has a pay telephone
So we're gonna get possession now. And this is actually one of my favorite powers in the game. Just because once you upgrade it, it costs very little salt and can kill any enemy except the handyman and the fire and crow guy. Well, I think it's the fireman and the crow man. So it's actually very useful, especially at the last battle, because
What was that?
we can immediately get rid of the rocket launcher NPCs, and they will either destroy a few enemies on their way out, or as soon as we switch to another enemy, they will kill themselves. Or we could use it to distract the George Washingtons, but possession doesn't last very long on them. It's mainly just a way to distract them from shooting the airship. I'm not going to mess with this. I remember what it did for my last playthrough, and it was a bunch of nothing. So now we're going to play the shotgun minigame. I find it rather clever they put these minigames in here, because this is like the tutorial for the game built into these little minigames. And you actually get rewarded for playing them. So yeah, I was kind of worried because the first time I played through the game, when I got here, I shot every target, and I actually didn't have enough targets given to me within the time limit to hit the 20 cap for the win. So really close, and we barely got it. So that's over with. We can return to the main festivity and get back to the auction. Oh, but first I think we run into the twins. Well, we're just gonna call them the twins, but if you watch my previous commentary, then we know they're the same person, except from different dimensions. And they have very interesting dialogue if you just listen.
Heads.
Or tails.
Come on,
So-
let me through. Heads.
Or tails.
That's how many times Booker's been here. You can see that by how many times he's flipped heads. And
I never find that
yeah, so this is like 5, 10,
There's always next time.
I suppose there is.
I don't know, probably like his 50th, 60th time being here. But it's funny because they said maybe next time, because they know he's going to be back. So yeah, we're just going to possess all the dollar bill machines, take the coins, because that is allowed. Because we're broke. We steal charity, and we take coins out of machines.
I hear the Father Franklin machines will be taking on new stores.
So although it was tedious getting to the first main encounter of the game, I feel like it was necessary. You can see the first rift here is actually transforming one of the twins into the female twin. So the second time playing through, you actually notice a lot of things that you didn't the first time you
Madam
played.
Lutess, I have read all your books on the sciences. Mama says
AD, we know that stands for Anna DeWitt now. His real daughter, real daughter's name.
Is it true that only you are allowed to visit
So
the girl in
Elizabeth
the tower?
Comstock is really
If the land
Anna
is lonely
DeWitt,
too, I
grown
should
up.
like to meet her, as we would have much in common. Warmest regards, Constance.
It looks like there's so much more money there than 4 coins. If you notice, that was the female we're going to run into at the raffle, who actually brings up the winning balls. So we go over here, gotta find another way around.
Sorry,
And
son,
when we
this
wind up
is-
going around, we actually run into the raffle. and somehow that girl gets there within time to hand out the winning ball. So this is where the game really gets set into place, I think, and you see how it's going to go. There's like women holding baseballs and everybody clapping.
Sorry, no sale.
Silly. There's never a charge for the raffle. You've been sleeping under a rock?
And we drew 77, as Ludus predicted.
That's a lucky number. I'll be rooting for you.
Bring me the bowl! Is that not the prettiest?
My first time playing through this, I really didn't know what to expect. I really wasn't sure what's going to happen. I never played the beta. Or the demo, I guess.
77!
But
What do you know?
Number 77, come and claim your prize!
this was really enlightening on how this game was going to be. It seemed too nice at first, and it went straight downhill. Now behind the larger being behind the two live folks actually looks like he's imitating some kind of pastor. And of course we're going to throw it at the announcer.
We've got a shy one here.
I got something for you, son of a bitch.
So we can figure it out.
It's him.
So I was very anxious to see how the level cap on these guys was going to be, and if they were going to kill me in one hit, or if they were just going to be obsessively strong. I was surprised by the outcome, though. And so it still takes only 2 hits. I think they literally just killed their own guy. I didn't notice that when I first played through. So I was pretty proud of myself, didn't get hit once. So I go over here. I broke the hell out of his arm. Then we can see one solid shot. The first bullet that hit actually took me down a quarter of the way in my health, and then each bullet afterwards took me down a little bit, maybe like a 20th. So it seems like the first bullet packs the biggest punch. Another dollar bill machine. Possibly. I'm not sure actually. Might be a dollar bill machine.
I told you, Comstock.
Nope, bigger machine.
You sell 'em
We still can't afford anything.
and the customers expect cherubs for every chore. No menials in God's kingdom.
I actually think the character will become much stronger in this, since we won't be able to buy ammo or health. We'll be able to buy nothing but upgrades and
you can say
new vigors. I'll interchange vigors and tonics because basically I made videos of other Bioshocks and it's all the same to me.
I suppose.
Go for headshots as much as we can here. Seems like the best thing to do. The first time I played through this, I was actually almost killed here because they jumped off the skyline rails and like 2 of them got behind me and almost killed me. Trying to run past the turret, and I figured I knew this was going to be a large battle. Ooh, no scope. So I wanted to let them filter in through these staircases if possible. I don't think many of them actually follow through with that though. So I think my strategy through most of this is going to be get the assault rifle, the single burst assault rifle, and stay far back because the guns don't really lose power with range. I've heard there was some kind of class orientation later on. We get to pick our class, so it'll probably be whatever the long distance fighter is. I think it'd be stupid to be the up close and personal fighter just because of the amount of damage the enemies deal on these higher difficulties. In general, of course. I'm not absolutely sure that it's going to be much different in 1999 mode, but I assume we'll be hurting a lot more come later in the game. So last time this turret right here really screwed me up. I didn't even see it till I died. But I've since then reorganized my strategy. So yeah, you're gonna actually walk all the way back around. We wanted to, but we're not going to. Figured I'd look over here and see if maybe there was an Easter egg or something from going back, but there wasn't. We're not going to be doing much exploring either. We're trying to just get through this, hit all the main areas, maybe show a few of the hidden things that I found particularly useful, because I know there's some armor that's hidden from the boss writings and stuff. So now that I got enough salt, I think I completely fail here in hitting this guy with the possession. Yeah, see that's cheap. I don't agree with that. I think that ghost should have went right through that wall. And yes, I don't want to waste bullets on those machines if possible. I figure since the achievement for not using the dollar bill machine is Scavenger, we will be scavenging quite often, and I'd rather minimize the amount of scavenging we have to do. This is like the longest commentary I've ever done. Hitting in at 37 minutes, but just to get us to the part of the game that begins to get more action filled, and then we'll start breaking it down into maybe 10-minute commentaries. Maybe not, maybe 20. I don't really agree with the 100 episodes that some of the commentators do, like Tobuscus and all the Minecraft guys. You know, they seem to break them down in a rather small episodes, but for something like this, I figure people are watching for, like I said, just to get tips on a part or just hear some interesting storyline dialogue that they might not have noticed on their playthrough. I think I've pretty much noticed most interesting things. I'll probably forget to mention them, but
what's going
nonetheless, this is the first time we run into a fireman. And I was expecting this to be very hard, but it actually wasn't. You see his health is already halfway down. I think I got a few initial headshots in there. What really screws you up though is actually the fire that he leaves behind after he throws the ball, because I always wind up running through that. You notice my health didn't go down very far. It's kind of bottoming out now. And he was defeated quite easily.
Kiss. Well, you only live once.
So now we get the Devil's Kiss tonic and /vigor. This is probably the coolest animation for these vigors throughout the game, I think. And I know I grabbed the health, but my health didn't go up, and I didn't notice it didn't go up until after I come over here and get shot at. I throw a pretty precise fireball at this machine and knock him out. I will not use Devil's Kiss throughout this game whatsoever after this point, because our main use will be Bucking Bronco and Possession. And then once we get the Spartan Shield Vigor, we will use that along with Possession and Bucking Bronco, because Bucking Bronco must be the cheapest way to beat this game there is. It is extremely overpowered. You can use it like 20 times, and yeah, it's actually ridiculous. You can take out just about every mob that comes to you just by throwing them in the air, shooting them, throwing them back in the air, shooting them again. And the best thing about Bucking Bronco is that no enemy is immune to it besides the big guys, such as the Handyman and the Washingtons. But yeah, so that's the strategy. So up until this point, we've killed the firemen and gotten through most of the slow part of the game. So next time we will continue in this building and try to get some more interesting commentary going on. This is never Jinx. This is never gaming. Peace.